Are you ready?
For football.
Welcome to the NFL Pregame Report.
What up? What up? Ladies and gentlemen, live in effect, playoff wild card Sunday morning. It's your boy Cool McCain, and I'm joined on the side by our own very special Skip Bayless with none of the haberdashery of foolishness, just the takes. My man said, "What's up, said?"
What up, cool? What up? What up? Playoff weekend.
Yes,
Hey.
sir. You know, I have to preface when I say you, our old Skip Bayless, and I have to preface it by just the takes, not the other stuff that Skip has been allegedly doing. You know what I'm saying? So,
Oh man, I haven't even been following Skip. I stopped following him a while back.
well, I will tell you this: a lot of people over there are being accused of some wildness with Joy Taylor and another female and all that. So, it's crazy. So I just want to make sure I distance you from
Man,
that those aspects. We don't do those kind of things.
dang,
At
people
least
are
nobody's found out if
crazy.
one is.
Yeah, man. Like, come on, man. You make all this money. Why you gotta do dumb stuff? Whatever. Hey, happy to be here though. Happy to be here.
Absolutely, absolutely. And we are being joined as well by the Chicken Nugget King. Chicken Nugget, what's going on, man?
Hey, not much, man. It's playoff time, man. It feels good to be here. CG, what's going on to you? Cool. Hey, let's get it, man.
Hey,
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So, hey, we coming in swinging today. It's going to be
Oh,
a crazy show, and we're going to have some fun with it. So, off the rip, we had some playoff games yesterday. We're going to get right into them. Um, it's crazy. So, I mean, we might as well start in uh, time order. So yesterday, 4 p.m., had this little matchup that happened, between the Chargers and the Houston Texans. And the Texans have had a tough year, so a lot of people kind of felt like, all the Texans this, the Texans that, the Chargers should go in there and, and dominate that game and win that game and everything. But your boy, Cool McCain, I already know, like, playoffs, you've been there the year before, you came up a little short. You understand what you didn't do in that situation. The regular season really is to get to the playoffs. We talk about, this team is number one, this team is number three, four, blah blah blah. But once you get in the playoffs, it doesn't really matter. And that's what Houston showed us yesterday. Houston showed us that, hey, we haven't had the best season. We lost our top two receivers, but when it came to the playoffs, where we needed to win, we walked into a matchup at home with a team that we felt like we could compete against, and they did the thing. And that's what it is. Chicken, what are your thoughts on the Chargers Houston game?
Well, obviously, I think that the Chargers, to me, they fell apart. They fell apart in this game. And Houston did everything, just everything and anything to control the game and control the narrative. Was there turnovers? Yes. But CJ Stroud got his head back on his shoulders, started playing well, getting his guys in rhythm. Nico Collins had a hell of a game. Um, and that's what really matters to them is that they dropped a 30 ball and they wanted to collectively play a good game. No disrespect to Jim Harbaugh, but Jim Harbaugh is a great coach. It's just that they fell apart. The Chargers were beating themselves. They weren't beating the Texans. They were beating themselves in this game. And it's just so difficult to go to Houston and perform the way you want to perform because Houston's a high scoring team. People forget that they are a high scoring team. They could drop 30. They could drop 40 in any given minute. So it's all about controlling when you can control that defense and control the pace and stop whatever is there that CJ Stroud and the rest of that talented offense has.
Feel it said. I know the first thing you gonna say.
What? No, first thing I'm going to say is Houston didn't lose their top 2 receivers. They lost 2 of their top receivers, but their top dog, Nico Collins, is out there and did what he needed to do. But big dog on campus, man, Lad McConkey. All jokes aside, this dude's been killing it the past 7 games, past 8 games now, and he just showed up and showed out, man. I'm looking forward to see how they build off of that. But yeah, man. Justin Herbert, I don't know if it's like the Chargers curse or something, or they moved from San Diego to LA and we thought it was going to change, and they got the Harbaugh and we saw it was looking different. They didn't lose these games they were supposed to lose, and then they get to the playoffs and then it pretty much looks just like it looked last year, if not a little worse. So
oh yeah, but
no, what were you gonna say?
I was going to say that this team fell 0-2 for some reason. LA's 0-2. Like, literally.
Yeah, they can't get over that hump, man, since they have Phillip Rivers. You know what I mean? Like, they just can't do it when they get down to the time to actually do it and do what you need to do. Plus, I mean, they didn't have the running game, which is why I'm kind of a little suspect about my Broncos today, too. It's the playoffs. You need that running game to come through big, and your lead rusher having 26 yards. I mean, that's not getting you nowhere. So, there 4 interceptions. I didn't even know it was 4 interceptions. I just felt like I kept watching the same interception over and over. Man,
yeah,
it was 4 times.
It felt good to see the Chargers get beat down. That's what they needed to happen. Everybody talking all that trash. You don't want to see this team in the playoffs, whatever, man. Houston came through and finally locked it in and did what they needed to do. You saw CJ Stroud targeting Dalton Schultz. You saw Nico Collins coming through big, of course. Joe Mixon doing what he does best. I think he started off a little slow, but just came through, and they just came through and dominated with that defense, man. That defense that held them down last season. So it'll be interesting to see what they do moving forward, whether they play the Ravens or Buffalo. It'd be kind of cool to see a rematch from last year to see if they learned anything, So granted, the pieces they brought in for it won't be there, but it'd be interesting to see them go up against the Ravens, because that means that my Broncos would have won. So let's go.
The one thing I will say is that there was a team that won with interceptions in Texas against the Texans over the course of the season, and that was the Detroit Lions. Now, when you throw 4 interceptions, you can't beat this team at all. You're not the Lions, so there's no way you can beat this team by throwing interceptions in this game in the playoffs, where it really matters most. And as I said before, the Houston Texans buckled down. They played great, and they executed through first half and second half, got themselves together. Coach Ryans is just putting these guys at a higher level, and he's putting that pressure on them to play great, to play good, and not just play good, but play great. And I really like to say that CJ Stroud, we talk about him all day, but let's really give a lot of credit to Lad McConkey and Justin Herbert for connecting the dots and building a great chemistry over there with the LA Chargers. And they're doing some things that you see from any other team, but they're doing things the way that wide receivers and quarterbacks should be doing, is connecting the dots and getting good chemistry, so that way there's other wide receivers that can get open and follow the leader with the quarterback. So hats off to the Chargers. They had a hell of a season. They'll be back next year.
I want to say I see what you did there with you're not the Lions. I'm gonna tell you this. I don't care if you're the Lions, the Eagles, the Tigers, the Bears, whoever. You go into a playoff game and you throw 4 interceptions, you're not winning that game.
Period.
There isn't a team out there that's gonna throw 4 interceptions.
Oh no. There's no way you're not. No, there's no way you're winning a playoff game throwing 4 interceptions. No way.
I'm just messing with you. I had to throw that one out there. You gave me the opportunity. I had to take it.
Look, it's all together. It's blended in all together. But when I think of it, I think Jim Harbaugh is going to put this team in the divisional round next year, divisional round or AFC Championship game. If they can stay focused and stay level headed and not have their heads down, they'll be back next year. They'll be ready.
It's gonna be hard to do in the AFC, actually the NFC too. Because there's a lot of teams that they're not gonna be losing a lot of pieces. But we'll go ahead and move on here. We got the Ravens and the Steelers. In this game, this is what I will say. I did watch pieces of the game. I mean, Baltimore kind of, put their foot on their throat early and kept it there for the most part. They did, get another touchdown. Steelers did, but just you can't win in the playoffs if you don't have a franchise quarterback, right? That's the thing, right? Sometimes if they're young, you still don't win because they need to learn a little bit, understand the situation. But if you don't have a guy who can make plays for you as your quarterback, that can be a franchise cornerstone, you're not going to win the playoffs. And that was Pittsburgh's problem this year. And I'm not defending anything else that happened. I'm not trying to say there weren't other issues, but essentially, you got a franchise quarterback, those things can be covered up for games, and you can win games. If you don't, this is what you're going to get. Baltimore has one, and then Baltimore has a wrecking ball of a man at running back, too, that kind of did what he wanted to do to an extent, because that's what it is. You've got to have those pieces in place. You've got to understand what is needed to compete. Getting there is one thing, competing is a different thing. And there's levels to this. If you're a team like Sedge Broncos, or some of the other teams that are first-time playoff teams in their current form, that's one thing, because, playoffs are a different animal, and you got to get there and understand it to start to prepare for it in the future. But those dad blame Steelers, man, you got to get a quarterback in there. Whoever is going to be your guy, you got to support him. You got to make sure that he has the weapons he needs and the things he needs to be successful, because that's what's hurting the Steelers among some other teams that are in the playoffs but don't have that guy. And if that guy's not there, there's no way. Sid, we'll go with you first this time. What are your thoughts?
Man, Lamar's on a mission right now. Let me tell you, they came in and they thumped the Steelers right off rip. Man, Lamar is focused. Like you said, he's ready to go. I mean, he only threw for 175 yards. Feels like normally when you're like, oh, the quarterback threw for 175 yards, like they got like 14 points, right? You're expecting much less. But of course, they had King Henry out there. Just let me tell you, man, Derrick Henry is a beast. I don't care what no one says. I don't care what no one has to say. Dude, it's proof he is definitely on the Mount Olympus or whatever the mountaintop is for running backs when it comes to the NFL. And I'm just happy I got to see his career, because this man is just the perfect mix of like old school plus new school football, the running back style, just a combination of both the running back styles. And it was finally amazing to see him come into the playoffs not worn out, not having to carry the team, not having to worry about if he's going to have to be the dude or not. He didn't even have to. I think Lamar had the first rush or whatever. I have to go through and check. I didn't see the beginning of the game, but like, there's 3 running backs on that team. He doesn't have to do anything. And he had almost 200 yards rushing, man, 2 touchdowns. Lamar Jackson still had 2 touchdowns. They made a statement with this game. They came out and they're ready to play, and they're not playing with anybody. And, man, if they stay locked in like this, I don't see many teams that can beat them. I mean, it's kind of hard to compete with that, man. But, gosh, it was fun. It was fun just seeing Baltimore just come out there and just – Lamar Jackson's been dissecting for the past 2 – ever since I think it was like when they get that new offensive coordinator. What was that, 2 seasons ago?
I think
it was
so,
like
yeah.
2 or 3 seasons ago, whatever. Ever since they got that new offensive coordinator, man, and people were saying Lamar Jackson wasn't a real quarterback. I remember, joking with JJ on the fan show about, you telling them Baltimore ain't it. They had, that plethora of running backs in the running back room, and they just replaced them all with King Henry, man. It paid off, man. Shout out to King Henry, man. Come on, let me tell you. I was chilling with his sister though. That's another story, but I was chilling with his sister though down last week, so that was cool. But man, let me tell you, King Henry has been going off. Man, these Ravens are on a roll right now, and they're so fun to watch. They're so fun to watch.
Chicken nugget, what you got?
Well, the Ravens wanted to be, disciplined at the run game. That's what they wanted to do. Run game, run game, run game, run game, and don't give up any momentum to the Steelers. They had a hell of a game. Like, and I loved it. I loved every minute of the performance. King Henry is going to do King Henry, like Mile High said, because that dude is phenomenal. He is a wrecking ball.
Mhm.
It's like you just can't figure out a way to stop this guy. This guy can have 100 yards rushing type of game, any type of game, any type of week, and he's always going to get you touchdowns, if necessary. So he's a high performer. He's a great player, and he's definitely moving up on the way up. Especially with Lamar Jackson doing what Lamar Jackson does. He's an MVP, very great caliber player that can take his team to the Super Bowl. Now I know it's far fetched, but if Lamar Jackson could keep this up, and John Harbaugh, who's Jim Harbaugh, brother, we spoke on Jim Harbaugh, but if John Harbaugh can keep this up, the Ravens will be in the Super Bowl in no time, because the last Super Bowl that parents they had was in 2012. All that they were missing was a run game. Now they got a run game; they can use it effectively against anyone. So now you got to keep on blending in, keep on building the momentum, keep on playing at a poise that you want to play, and you'll be there. So I got to give all credit to the Ravens. They played good, and Ray Lewis was there at the building. So I mean, that really amped up that whole crowd and that team. So going forward, they have a lot to play for.
Agreed. Definitely agreed with that. All right, so guys, joining us in the building, and ironically,
Hey,
I'm at the perfect time, is our man TJ. TJ, what's going on?
Can you guys hear me?
yeah.
Yes.
Oh, loud and clear.
Great.
Loud
I
and clear.
can't hear anyone else. God damn it.
No.
Fucking HP.
We can hear you.
Yeah, we can hear you.
Check your speaker. I know you has been tripping with you a little bit, but go to your settings and check your speaker and see if it's coming through for you, because we can hear you.
Yeah, I got a question to you guys.
We'll let TJ try to get that sorted out. In the meantime, we're gonna go ahead and move on, because we got some other things we want to cover here. So,
Okay.
coaching changes, right? We got some coaches that were excavated from their organizations, so to speak. Now, according to reports today, one of those jobs is off the table, and I do want to actually start there, because I feel like there was something that was introduced to me to what has happened. All right, so couldn't wait after a season, could not wait, and I mean they seemed happy about it, like, you know what I'm saying, to get rid of their head coach and Jared Mayo. He had tagged as the guy moving forward.
What was that?
Now, twofold here. So I will be more than happy to give y'all, the coaching waiting. So once they did that, they locked themselves in the mail. So the theory that was introduced by my man Flo from Let's Talk Sports is simply this. They made the move. They thought he was going to be the guy. But then once they kind of saw everything, they're like, well, he probably ain't going to be the guy. But if he can get us X amount of wins, his theory was 5 to 6 wins. then we'll at least keep him for a second year and see what happens. But at the end of the day, they already had made up their mind, probably, somewhere along the season that they didn't want him before this season started. But because they had signed that agreement, he was going to be the next head coach. They really gave him a short lease in 1 year. If he didn't get to 5 to 6 wins, he was going to be terminated. Obviously, they didn't get there. So in order to stop a lawsuit or any issues like that, they just went ahead and said, you know what? We are going to have him as a coach for a year, and then we can fire him. We can use the fact that, the team didn't play well to get rid of him. I don't have a problem with that thought pattern because it kind of actually makes sense. And then the other piece, of course, which is ironic and funny, is since Mayo knew that they were going to get rid of him, he said, you know what? Number one pick, my ass. Not today. We're going to win this game. Y'all take that since you're going to get rid of him. Right? And then, ironically, they go and they sign Mike Vrabel, who was available last year, but for some reason, he didn't really interview a lot. Right? And you're kind of like, well, what's going on? Vrabel don't want to coach no more? Like, what's happening? So what if, and of course, this is just, conspiracy theory. What if he already knew that this job was going to be open and he wanted it? He just had to wait a year and still get paid from the Texans while he's chilling, waiting for this job to come back open for him to be able to get it. Because keep in mind, because they already had Mayo as the tap coach and waiting, they didn't interview anyone because he fit all the criteria. He was already a coach of color. So that was already taken care of. So the NFL wasn't going to be like, oh, you got to interview other people. So there you go. That seems pretty interesting. And I'm not saying that that's true, but it is a feasible explanation for me based on what we've seen happen so far. So, yeah, that was the theory that was placed out. At first, I was kind of like, but now I'm kind of like, maybe that is it. Sid, what you think?
Man, that's a lot. Who was that one coach that was suing Miami?
Brian Flores.
We're talking Flores. We're talking Flores.
Isn't that what he was saying? They came to him and asked him to lose games. Well, that's not what he was saying, but I'm saying something similar to that. I could see something like that. And I was going to say maybe they decided to go offense this time, like they're just going through their pool of players and coaches trying to get that Bill Belichick effect. But and they could have had conversations. So it could be something along the lines of that, but not necessarily that. Or it could be, it could be a conspiracy, but maybe it's not even a conspiracy. Maybe everybody just knew what was going to happen. And Bryant and, Gerard Mayo was still like, I'm still going to win games. It's like, I'm still going to coach, even though this team is garbage. I'm still going to coach it to win, not even necessarily like, I don't know. But I mean, I could see that being the case. They did hire super quick, right? They just let go of Gerard Mayo. What was it, yesterday or something? Day before?
Sunday.
Just saw the report. Yeah, we just saw it not long ago. And they were already on it, and you got teams that let go of their coach. Maybe that was just their process, right? They how quickly did they hire Gerard Mayo? I feel like
they pretty much hired him. They pre-hired him.
Yeah, so that's just kind of their process of just knowing that they're going to stick to the script of players that they've had or coaches that have been there before. Instead of trying to bring in someone new, they're trying to recreate what they had. It feels like.
That's an interesting thought. Chicken Nugget, what about you, sir?
I definitely have to piggyback off of what Mile High said. He said every correct thing that there was, and it's pretty much a fact. With Gerard Mayo was not going to work out. You could tell it was just dysfunction all over the place with the Patriots and him. Players didn't like him. He got rid of Matthew Judon and sent them over to the Atlanta Falcons, where he's building productively over there. But when you look at the Patriots are a team that's about do your job. Now they found a guy that's about do your job, Mike Vrabel. Playoff wins, definitely has a great coaching resume. He's done great things with Tennessee before he left and they started to rebuild. Uh, I just know he's going to bring his own guys in. He's going to bring his own guys in. He's going to change a lot of things. I think he's going to build a great chemistry with Drake May. And even though he's a defensive guy, it's only right to see things through with an offensive guy. And I did hear rumors that they were going to bring Josh McDaniels in as OC. So I mean, it's anything can go at this point. Anything can go. It's just all about if they can work and if they can tread lightly, going forward this upcoming next season.
Gentlemen, we are welcoming into the
Hey.
mix our Houston Texans guy, Coach Dante. What's up, Coach Dante?
What's good, y'all? How y'all doing today? How y'all
What's
doing?
going on, Coach Dante?
What up, Dante? Coach Dante.
Good. Feels good, y'all. Just celebrating
So,
Victory
Coach Dante,
Sunday.
since you here, man, we're gonna go ahead and push it back a little bit because we love to hear your thoughts. I know I would, and I'm sure everybody watching would, on the Texans Chargers game, sir.
What are you familiar? So cool. You do watch wrestling, right? So you familiar with Mr. McMahon,
I do,
right?
sir.
You
You know
know
I
when
do.
you get, you know when you
Yep.
when you get interrupted with family business, and you know Mr. McMahon don't like that, right? And then when you hear the word "sick'em," Kurt, when you hear that word, that's what D'Amico Ryans did to Houston Tech. He told him go sick Justin Herbert, and that's exactly what they did. I mean, our defensive line was amazing yesterday. I got an all-pro corner and Derek Stingley, who shuts down one side of the field over there and who continues to prove when he's healthy. He's one of probably the top four corner in the league right now. Man, they got a linebacker, ever since he knocked out Trevor Lawrence. I mean, like I say, you like guys like that. I mean, these guys that Miko Ryans know, but this defense, when our defense playing like that, it gives our offense a chance. But yeah, our offense struggled. Our offense struggled yesterday, but the fact is our defense just held Justin Herbert down. And then, like I say, man, Justin Herbert, 3 of the interceptions was on him yesterday. I mein, you look at that interception that he threw across the body. You don't supposed to never throw a ball across your body or across the field. That was his fault. The last interception that Derek Stingley caught, the first one, I mean, there was a drop pass. It was a drop pass. But the last 3 was his fault. He definitely struggled. We actually played good against good quarterbacks this year. We actually played a tough quarterback outside of Lamar Jackson. We actually played him well. So, I love this defense. When our defense is out there playing and shutting down teams, we can play with like anybody. Not saying we beat anybody, but we can play with like anybody. And we closed the game out with the run game with Joe Mixon yesterday. CJ Stroud opening it up. I mean, we had nothing going before this play. He literally drops the ball, picks it right back up, and threw it across his body, wide open to Xavier Hutchinson. That was the momentum right there. That was the breaking point right there to why the game went the way it went. So, again, CJ Stroud, showed up. This offensive line showed up at the end. The defense, damn sure, showed up throughout the whole entire game outside of the touchdown that Lane McConkey got.
Oh, that was a crazy
Yeah, that
touchdown.
was a crazy catch, right? That was a crazy
I was gonna say that was the second crazy play.
Back-to-back sacks, and that play happened right there. I'm like,
Yeah.
man, come on, man. But
Hey,
that
that catch could have been on Sports Center for sure. That got to be a Sports Center
was a
highlight.
regular play. I mean, we were about to stop him again, and then you look at that play right there, and Lane McConkey just helps out Justin Herbert. But yeah, man, like I say, man, I'm impressed with my defense, the way they play. My defense won us this football game yesterday. I can say that.
Definitely. So, Coach Dante, you actually came in. We were discussing what's popping off here in New England. So we've got, the head coach got let go a week ago. They already got Vrabel in. I don't know how much you might have heard before you hop on, but there was a theory that was brought to my attention on the NFC Beast last night because we were talking about these, that perhaps they really didn't want him after they had already told him he was going to be the coach in waiting. And so that wouldn't be a lawsuit. They basically said, let me go ahead, bring him in. We're going to give him a year. If he can't win at least 5 or 6 games, we're going to get rid of him. And then they already had the guy that they wanted in place in Mike Vrabel because, they weren't able to go out and do a proper search because they already have promised him the job and his contract and everything. And you breach that, there's going to be some ramifications. So your thoughts, if any, on that, and then just on the move of getting rid of him after 1 year and then bringing in Vrabel.
I mean, again, it's kind of like maybe similar to how the Texans did David Cullen, Lovie Smith. They weren't never going to be the future coaches of the Houston Texans. DeMeco Ryans was picked to be the coach, was wanted to be the coach of the Houston Texans, and look how it turned out. Same situation with the Patriots. I mean, Gerard Mayo wasn't going to last this whole season. I mean, especially the way he didn't get along with players. And, when you don't get along with players, man, and when you lose the locker room, that's it for you. That's one thing I can say is it for you when you lose that locker room. And he apparently lost the locker room. They have something over there in Drake May. They got their guy. And they stole Mike Vrabel away from the Jets, too. They stole him away from the Jets who actually wanted Mike Vrabel. So you stole him from a divisional rivalry. I mean, he's a guy who won Super Bowls with the New England Patriots. And like I say, he's a guy that don't take no crap. I mean, this team got something going on. But other than that, I don't think Gerard Mayo. You can make a case that I don't think he was ready for be a head coach. Yeah, I think he could have made a good linebackers coach or something like that. But again, like I say, man, it just everything just then you traded. I think your best two defensive linemen. You traded probably your best two defensive linemen too. So I mean, it just then you didn't have any type of receiving help at all. I don't know what happened to the running game. I mean, you have some bright spots in Drake May, but they had to get a coach in now who can come in and get some stability of this team. Someone that knows how to take control of the locker room, who has won games before.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Fair enough. I will say one thing about this. We move on is simply. Mayo was a linebackers coach, right? So you kind of like, why would you take a linebacker coach and make him your head coach away, right? You didn't go through the ranks of like being a defensive coordinator or anything. So you kind of look at that and you're like, did you put him in the best place to be successful? Did you think maybe it was going to be another year or two before you were going to actually get rid of Belichick? Like, what was the original thought and when did it change? Because clearly there seemed to be a change in what they wanted and what they ended up doing. So just want to throw that out there, get everybody juices flowing this morning. So we'll move on to the next opening that's out in the building there. And that's going to be, of course, the Chicago Bears. And obviously this was not a guy that was fired on Black Monday or Tuesday, but he was a coach this year, and they did let him go. So, thoughts on the Bears' job, guys? Go ahead and start this with Chicken Nugget.
The Bears, man. Oh, Cook. Oh, you know what? Cool. You got to let me cook on this one. You got to let me cook, man. Let me cook. I got the kitchen. Let me cook on it. The Bears are a laughing stock right now. They're a laughing stock. They don't have an offensive line. Their quarterback has gotten sacked over 70 times this season. And, their coaching staff is bad. They need somebody that could change their whole culture, change their culture and get guys willing to play. Stop hiring guys that are just not coaches. Hire guys that can come in and believe in Caleb Williams and believe in their offense and believe in their defense. Defense and special teams is 2/3 of their team. They need an offense. You can have wide receivers. You can have DeAndre Swift. You can have it all over there. But then again, you're failing. Stop trying to do too much. Build your offensive line and get set and do things right. Don't sit there and embarrass your own franchise QB. It's bad. It's horrible. It stinks. It's so bad for Bears fans to literally sit there and cringe about going to the playoffs, knowing that they can't reach the playoffs with a 1-year quarterback. Tisk, tisk, Jaden Daniels, who's now with the Washington Commanders. So you got to understand where you're at right now. And Coach Dante, you know what I'm talking about. You got to understand what you're doing right now. If you can't change a franchise, you can't change, losses and turn them into wins. You got to turn those into wins, change the culture, get you a coach that relates to the players, and stop playing around. You see what the Patriots did. You get player coaches, not guys that don't have any relationship with the players. Do that, change that, and then you'll see some results.
All right, Coach Dante, what's your thoughts?
So I'm gonna go another step further than he did. Like he said, you got the first thing if you're gonna change a goddamn franchise, you need a goddamn coach. That's what started off. You need a coach. Another thing, you need a fucking quarterback. If you don't have a quarterback or the coach, then you won't be good in it. You won't be a good team in the NFL. I mean, I think the Bears had a quarterback, but you didn't have the damn coach. You didn't have the coach. You had the players. You did have the players. Let's not make no excuses about that. You had DeAndre Swift. He's a solid running back. He pretty much stayed healthy for a little while. You had Keenan Allen, who still could do it. You had DJ Moore. Yeah, DJ Moore. You had a defense. You had all the cake. You had all the cake, ice cream ingredients. You just didn't have the coach. But again, you had enough talent to override the coach. They lost so many close games. They lost a lot of games that they even shouldn't have lost. Caleb Williams, he had a okay rookie season. Wasn't really nothing special, but again, he made some mistakes early in games that he actually some boneheaded rookie mistakes that he actually should have made. It was times they went away from the running game a lot. It was times that the defense got tired and couldn't get the job done. But I mean, if you don't have a coach and if you don't have a quarterback, it's going to be hard to win in it. It's going to be hard to win in the NFL. I think those are the two things you actually really need to be a successful, be some type of a successful team in the NFL. Now, I done seen a lot of teams be good without a quarterback, but they also had the coach in play. They also had coach in play. But I think I think those are the two things you actually need. If you don't have a quarterback, you got to at least have a great goddamn defense. You got to have an all-time defense if you at least don't have a quarterback and a head coach. And I think the Bears, they had a good, very solid team on paper. They had a very solid team that can compete with anybody. They didn't have the coach, and I think that's one thing that set them at. And they also lost some very close games, like the Hail Mary game against the Hail Mary game. The Hail Mary game ain't no way where you should have let the Commanders win on a Hail Mary. Well, ain't no way where you should even let that happen. But that goes because again, you have no discipline. Plus, you didn't have no discipline on the team. You got a player that's on the field talking to the fans instead of worrying about, and then you got a Hail Mary. You got a Hail Mary put up. You over there talking to the stands and a Hail Mary. You let a man catch a Hail Mary. Noah Brown. You let Noah Brown catch a Hail Mary, but you over there talking to the fans. You over there talking to the fans. I mean, it was just a miss this year. It was, and that's how you lose games. You had no discipline. You had no structure in that locker room. The players was upset. DJ Moore, don't get upset too much, but when you seen DJ Moore in the Texans game walk off the field tired, when you see DJ Moore frustrated in interviews, when you see players frustrated in interviews, that's a bad sign. So yeah, they had no structure, they had no culture, and they had to get the coach up out of there. The coach had to be the one to go. But the team was just disappointed as a whole because you had enough talent. You just really had enough talent on paper to win games. You really did. So it wasn't just the coach, but the coach will always get that first spot, and the coach was a problem. He was part of the problem as well. He was a big problem.
And might I add, you're not the Bears. You're the boneheaded Bears. The boneheaded Bears. I mean, it's poor. It's piss poor to watch a franchise like this. And if they don't change things,
anything to add to that, sir?
Go ahead.
Nah, I was just gonna say, man. Yeah, they just really need a solid coach who knows what he's doing. You know what I mean? Who comes in with his game plan and his focus on how to turn that around, because they do have some really great pieces, right? They have a really good receiving core over there with DJ Moore. Their running back room is decent. they have the makings of a really great defense. Their defense held them in the game, a lot more. So besides bonehead plays like that, lack of discipline, that's where I guess you could say coaching would come into effect, to be able to, be able to identify those things in practice and make sure that, that those moments aren't happening, or make sure they have the right players in place that aren't going to do those types of things, regardless of maybe whether they're as good, or you know what I mean. So I think that's where coaching comes into place. I think Eberflus was just a bit over his head, or whoever the new coach is, or whoever the new coach is. They had like 40 coaches, it felt like, in these past 7 weeks. It's gonna take just gonna take a coach to come in and know. It's gonna take like a Harbaugh, or honestly, like a Sean Payton, a coach like that knows what they're doing, what they're gonna do, and that they're gonna come in there and do their game plan regardless of what happens. You know what I mean? Like, if it includes Caleb Williams or not, hopefully it will to start with. They're gonna look to see if he is that guy. You know what I mean? But they are gonna need like a Denver type overhaul, where it's like, okay, we may be paying this guy, but maybe it's time to go in a different direction, especially you can't have your rookie quarterback, it's supposed to be the face of your franchise, come out there and say, he can't kick the ball too. You know what I mean? Like, that's some Giselle type stuff after you won your 3rd Super Bowl, right? Like, that's not your 10th game in the league, when your team doesn't even have a winning record. So you need a coach, somebody that's going to eliminate those moments, because maybe those moments eliminated, and that taking that energy, taking and focusing in the right direction, it is what they may need, because they're really good. They were looking really good. We were all talking about the NFC North for most of the season, how good the division looked up and down, and that's what they're competing with, and they were competing. So maybe not just a coach, but I think a coach, I think like a solid coach that knows what he's doing is going to get them in the right direction and get them turned around. Maybe like a Gerard Mayo, right? Nah, I don't know.
No, I don't think they need a Gerard Mayo. Like,
Stop it, Dan.
I think they need. I think they need more of an offensive minded coach, because the way I look at it, their defense is solid. Their defense was good. Their defense was like not one of the problems. Their defense was solid all year long.
But the thing with that though, Coach Dante, is when you bring a new coach in, they're probably going to have a different defensive coordinator. So if you don't get the right coach, they could take that defense, and screw it up. If you don't get the right coach.
I think they got the pieces on the defensive side. It just really depends on what type of defensive coach they need. I like their defense overall. I just think more of an offensive minded person to get this all, because you got too much talent on the offensive side to be struggling scoring on the offensive side of the ball. You got too much talent.
Maybe even keep the same DC. Maybe if you can get the DC to stay.
Keep the same DC.
Keep the defensive staff and bring it on.
Again, just bring the offensive head coach in and just keep the same defensive staff. But again, Matt Eberflus is a defensive guy too. He's a defensive guy that happened to be the goddamn head coach. So at the end of the day, hey,
maybe he should come back as a
DC. Go ahead.
The one thing I will say is, you can't have Ben Johnson, so stop calling him. You won't have him. Okay?
Ben Johnson's gonna be going after this season, bro.
Hey, look,
somebody's gonna offer him a lot of money.
I'm gonna hang on.
He's not gonna be your OC next year. It happens. You were the number one seed.
I think that made
playoff. Your OC leaves.
Yeah,
I know. He's not gonna be there next year, so you might as well get ready.
Cool. Hey, cool. You're right. It's a business at the end of the day. But the Bears, you can't have Ben Johnson. You can have Bobby Slowick. And you want
they can have him. They can have him.
They can
have him. Yeah, they can get him. They can have him.
Yeah, money talks and DS walks.
Hey, look. Ben Johnson, I beg of you, don't go to the Bears. Don't.
They can have Bobby Slowick.
I will be distraught.
They could. They really could.
You might want to prepare for some distraughterry.
Hey, we got Gerard Johnson. We got Gerard Johnson over there. Too. So we got 2 offensive court. Yeah, they can have Bobby Slowick. They can have Bobby Slowick. It's CJ
Stroud. They can have Bobby Slowick.
CJ Stroud been carrying that man anyway. CJ Stroud been carrying that man anyway. Yeah, you can have him. They can have Bobby Slowick. Yeah, they can definitely have him.
All right,
cool. I'll definitely hit you up for therapy if they take Ben Johnson. I'll hit you up for therapy on that one.
Hey, I'm a LLC. We don't cover therapy. We can refer you, but we don't cover therapy, sir.
Oh man.
Jacksonville Jaguars. Doug Peterson. I only got one thing to say. About time. Coach Dante, what do you think?
Well, I like I say, as a diehard Texan fan, I'm every sense of happy whatever the Jaguars are going through whatever the Jaguars going through. But like I say again, he should, like I say, I thought he was gonna be fired during the season. I thought he actually was gonna be fired during the season. I didn't think he was gonna last. He should have been fired during the season, obviously. But again, your quarterback, when you got your quarterback who's supposed to be this golden child in the NFL and has not been every bit of that. That don't help. Travis Etienne, he's been all in trade talks. The defense was just atrocious throughout the whole year. When it got to the point when you had to bring in Matt Jones, when you had to play Matt Jones, that's how you know your season was awful. The receiving core, Christian Kirk is a solid receiver, can't stay on the football field. Evan Ingram, solid tight end, can't stay on the football field. I mean, I like Tank Bigsby as a running back. I think he was better than Travis Etienne this season. He was better than Travis Etienne this season. But everything, I mean, that's another organization again. The culture wasn't right. Everything was just bad. Nobody liked the head coach. The players was single out people, coaches and players in frustration. That's another franchise that just all of a sudden fell off the face of the earth. But other than that, like I say, I thought Doug Peterson should have been fired during the season. I thought he should have just lost his job during the season.
Say it.
Yeah, same thing. I mean, I was expecting him to get fired, like kind of ever since the second of the London games, right? But you know,
It was a
and then
countdown.
what was it too? Like who's the owner? Shad Khan, whatever his name is.
Yeah.
He just had the interview. What was it? The live interview where he had the GM on there, just basically saying, you know, he'd fire the GM too if needed, or it was someone. It's someone, man. He was like saying, he was telling the people interviewing him, like, yeah, you know, like I'll clean the shop. I'll clean shop, which he should have did earlier. So, I mean, it's interesting to see with what they did with Doug Peterson. It'd be crazy to see what direction they go in. I feel like he's just he's kind of the owner. He's just kind of, you know, like get it done. You know, he has people to do it for him. He's not necessarily as hands-on. So it'll be crazy to see if they go with like a seasoned coach or if they try to bring someone new back in from college for a second go around with that.
Fair enough. Chicken nugget.
It's plain and simple, clear as day. He wasn't their guy. Like, seriously, he was not their guy. I mean, yeah, you could win a Super Bowl for the Eagles way back in the day, but you're not, a guy for the Jaguars. It's all about culture change. In order to create a good team,
So 2017 is not
look
way
at,
Stop that.
yeah, that was a little jab to you. But, in order to change a team, you have to start at the top. Change your culture from the top and then work your way with the bottom and bring in the talent. Travis Etienne is good, but he's definitely going to be trade bait. Evan Ingram, talented guy. As Coach Dante said, talented guy, but just definitely needs to change the scenery. I don't know what they're going to do with Trevor Lawrence, but I do think that if Trevor Lawrence was in a different team, he probably would have balled out. He's just not, a Jacksonville Jaguars guy. It's just that clear and simple. They need a change of scenery. They just need to clean house and change things from the top in order to work their way from the bottom and make themselves decent.
All right, so we'll move on. Las Vegas Raiders. We know they let go of Antonio Pierce. Rumblings of locker room dissension there. Once you lose the locker room, like Coach Dante said, I mean, you pretty much got to go. Ain't too much to really add for me for the Raiders. It kind of felt like it was the natural move that was going to happen at some point anyway. Pierce was really only an interim coach. They just gave him a contract. They wanted to see what he's going to do this year. If he didn't get them where they felt like he should, they were going to let him go, and that's pretty much what happened. We'll go ahead. Sid, let's hear what you got to say first on this.
What was that? Sorry, I was reading something.
Raiders.
Oh yeah, I didn't expect to see this. I thought they were going to keep Antonio Pierce for another season and try to get him a quarterback, but I guess that wouldn't made sense either. Like, you might as well just restart, get a coach and a quarterback at the same time. So yeah, I mean, it's just crazy to see the two different directions the Raiders and the Giants went in with their lineman coaches. The Giants choosing to have faith in their coach and continue to move on. The Raiders choosing to think that it was the coach. They just keep going through coaches, man. It doesn't really help until you get something locked in and locked in place. I know we've all seen it from all our teams. Like, you got to have that consistent, right, Chip? Yeah, so he knows what's up. You got to have so I didn't expect to see it happen with the Raiders, but I did expect to see it happen with the Raiders. They were just really dysfunctional. And then once they got rid of Devonta Adams, it was like, okay, man, like maybe they're done. But then Brock was going off, so it was like, okay, well, maybe they're, hanging around. But they need to get a quarterback. They get a quarterback in, man. We've seen what Brock can do with subpar quarterback play. So if they get something that's somewhat relevant, it'll be interesting to see which direction they go in. But yeah, I did not expect to see that happen. Oh, I'm fading in and out. There we go. Let's get out of here. I was like, oh, I don't want to talk about the Raiders like this.
Right. Chicken
I
nugget.
mean, at least the cat. Hey, the cat is making some good points over there. I'm hearing the cat. The cat definitely making good points with you, CG.
That's what I'm saying. You're like, yeah, you're right. You're right. We didn't expect it. We don't care about them.
Yeah. They let go Telesco, if I'm not mistaken. They let go the GM. They let go Antonio Pierce, who is from Compton, not from Las Vegas. But when you look at the Las Vegas Raiders, they're cleaning house. They're doing things right. They're listening to Tom Brady. Tom Brady's being the advocate at this point. And whoever they go with and whoever they put in this franchise and this organization, it's going to make them look even better going into the future. I don't know what their plans are for Max Crosby, but one thing I want to say and what I would want to quote is from the great Al Davis: "Just win, baby." So you got to go and get players that want to win and want to develop well, offense, defense, special teams. It's all a part of the game. So Raider Nation, keep your head up, and Tom Brady's definitely going to put this team right back where it needs to be, a playoff team.
Oh no, we don't want that. We don't need that.
I mean, hey, it's from a Lions
Coach
fan.
Dante?
I'm gonna say this. This is the only coach I would kind of vouch for right here. What did Pierce have in coming into the offseason? What did he have? He had no running back. That's on an organization. He can't go out and
they got him the mustache. They
lost Josh Jacobs. They had no plans on re-signing Josh Jacobs. They didn't have a running back, so you knew your running back room wasn't going to be good, and it wasn't. You didn't have, who you got at wide receiver outside of Devontae Adams. Who you got outside of him? You have a nobody outside of him. You didn't have a good offensive line. Your defense was somehow supposed to be good. They wasn't good at all. So who did Antonio Pierce have much to work with? Like, this is the only coach I really will say that that didn't really have much talent around him, and he had to go with what he worked with. But the thing I would say he messed up on is, like I say, the quarterback situation. Aiden O'Connell looked at good pride going into last year, and Gardner Minshew came in. So you went off the year Gardner Minshew had with the Indianapolis Colts, and you chose him over Aiden O'Connell. Matter of fact, both guys struggled in training camp. Both guys struggled coming in training camp, and you chose the wrong quarterback. Plus, again, like I always said, what Cool just mentioned, you lost the locker room. So when you lose the locker room, hey, you got to pack your bags and go. You just got to pack your bags and go. But that's the only coach I will say that really had a horrible roster. Nobody really thought the Raiders would be. I didn't thought the Raiders was going to be really good this year. I really didn't think they were going to be a playoff team. But this is the only guy I will vouch for that didn't have a good that didn't really have a good roster. Bad quarterback play, bad running back play, bad receiver play, and especially with Devontae Adams gone, even more worse receiving play. Your best receiver was your tight end. That was your best receiver. Your best receiver was basically your tight end. That was it. And bad offensive line play. outside of Mass, you paid Wilkerson all that money. He gets hurt by his own damn teammate. He gets hurt by his own teammate. You paid that man all that money, and he gets hurt by his own teammate. You got Max Crosby over there crying and frustrated. I mean, what did Antonio Pierce have to work with? But I understand again. I said it over and over. When you lose the locker room, you just have to pack your bags and go. But that's all. That's all I gotta say. The Raiders just a dysfunctional organization, and again, Tom Brady, a lot of pressures on that damn front office to pick the right quarterback. You need a quarterback in this room. Going in with Aiden O'Connell and Gardner Minshew, that's not going to get it done. But you need your first position. You need a quarterback in the NFL draft. That's what the first thing you need in the NFL draft, and then you set everything up from there. Matter of fact, you get the coach right first. You start off, you get the coach.
So they go get Shador or what?
You got to get GM. You got to get coach.
Yep.
You lost the ability to probably get one of the top quarterbacks. So
they're gonna get Dion.
I mean,
they getting Coach Prime.
So y'all, we're gonna hit the chat up real quick here. So Sports PSP, thank you for watching. Says, is Herbert a playoff choker?
Yes.
I don't think he's had enough. I don't think he's had enough games to say he's a choker, but he has
good 2 choke games.
I mean, it's only 2. I mean, you know what I'm saying?
Against the Jaguars. And the Texans was a given. I didn't understand why the Texans were the underdogs in that game. I don't know why everyone
because our offense,
man, that offense woke. Nico's my dude.
No, we woke up because of the defense. We woke up because of actually the defense. That's the reason.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But I feel like CJ Stroud had his feet up under him a little bit better too yesterday.
After he threw that pass to Hutchinson,
I mean, I would like to say about Aiden O'Connell and Minshew, Gardner Minshew. See, Gardner Minshew and Aiden O'Connell are mid quarterbacks. They're not top tier. They're mid quarterbacks.
They're not starting.
Yeah, they're not starting quarterbacks. They're more of background guys, more of the guys that are sitting back just watching on the sidelines with a clipboard. That's what those guys are. But if they don't go in the quarterback direction, don't be surprised if they're just like locked in and zeroed in on Ashton Genty, because Ashton Genty is a dog, like straight up. Like that dude is doing things that, great running backs could do for a long time. And I think he could last in the pros. I think he could definitely hold up. I think that's a guy they can look at if they need a running game. Now that Josh Jacobs ain't there no more.
We'll definitely see what they do about that. So bottom line sports, man, Flo says Ben Johnson is gone. Definitely agree on that.
Hey, look, that's going to put me through sanity.
Well, hey. That's the cost of being good. So I have no pity for you. The bottom line sports also says the one constant here is the QB. Maybe we need to give more blame to Trevor Lawrence. That's a fair.
Yeah, that's a fair statement. He ain't been. They paid him $50 million. He ain't been not once that a star quarterback. Yeah, that's a fair.
Then he says about the Raiders. He says they want Chucky back.
Oh,
Chucky should be on the list. In my opinion, Chucky should be on the list with my man from the quarterback from the 49ers that they will never let back in the league. They should both be on the black market.
Oh, yeah. With Colin Kaepernick.
Yeah, with Kaepernick. Yep, there you go.
Yeah.
Scrub says, what up, Scrub? Thanks for watching, too. And thanks for watching, Flo. Scrub says, Herbert has been infected by the Chargers' affinity for choking.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, man. He
now,
got that Charger
that is fair
curse
because they've been choking forever and not even making the playoffs. So, okay.
Yeah, he got that Charger curse on him, man.
So Flo says the Raiders had 1,000+ yard tight end and a wide receiver. Jacoby Myers had 1,000+ yards with what at QB? That's not bad.
It's not bad.
Yeah, agreed. That's not bad at all.
Nobody's scared of Jacoby Myers still, though. Nobody's
lining
up against him.
Nobody was coming against Jacoby Myers. They're like,
if you know you were getting rid of the GM, you had to get rid of the coach too. And I think that's what it came
down.
No one
really.
You were getting rid of the GM. So we clean house, bring in a GM, let him pick a coach, and then you kind of just.
You can get
scroll down like you should logically from that point. So I think that's kind of what the Raiders are doing. I don't like what they did to AP, but at the end of the day, if you're going to go that way, then it makes sense that you say you just clean house. And I think that's what they did.
I mean, like after all that, no disrespect to Jacoby Myers, he did have a good season, but Brock Bowers opened the offense up. By the way, he opened that offense up. He opened it up. He opened that offense up. He was their best target, their best receiver. A rookie was coming in. dominate from the start was their best wide receiver. That's unacceptable. You can't have it. I know Brock Bowers is a man amongst boys, but come on now.
All right,
go ahead.
We got two more teams, y'all. We got the New York Jets. They let go of their coach, of course, during the season. I simply say what I said before. You let go of your coach. Your defense went to trash. The offense was never good. So clearly, he wasn't the problem, but Saleh was the one that took the L for it. So it is what it is. Any thoughts on the Jets? We'll start with you, Coach.
First of all, I'm gonna say this on this thing. Like I said, when Robert Saleh got fired. So again, what's so bad about it? You had to get the security guards, to escort Robert Saleh like he was a threat up out of the building. Now, if that was me and that GM fired me like that, I would have definitely came across the table on him and gave them a reason to escort me up out of there. Then you're gonna make it seem like I'm a threat. All you have to do is part ways with me. I would have got my stuff and got out. But you made it seem like I'm this dangerous dude. Made it seem like he just betrayed this man as he this dangerous dude. Yeah, he would have gave me a reason and got them security guards up on me at that point. After I came across the table and touched him up a little bit, he would have gave me a good little reason after that on that point. But other than that, you fire a coach and you still bad. You still a bad team. You're still a bad team. You fire a coach, you still a bad team. You get Devontae Adams, you still a bad team. Your defense downgrade. You got a interim coach that didn't know what the hell he was doing at all. Didn't know what the hell. He didn't know how to manage. He reminded me of my boy, what's our boy named Cool that got that job from Denver and did not know how to manage time.
Nathaniel Hackett.
You're talking about Big Dangio.
That's who that man reminded me of for the New York Jets. That interim head coach Overson. That's his name. He reminded me of my boy Nathaniel Hackett. You knew the moment you blew the game against Seattle and didn't know how to use them timeouts and decided to kick a 50-some yard field goal, made them to win. Yep, that's how you knew he wasn't ready to be a head coach in this league. And again, you fire Robert Saleh and you don't get any better. Your defense don't get any better. Your offense wasn't good with Robert Saleh, wasn't good without him. Breece Hall was very disappointed. And you get Devontae Adams. You said you needed a receiver, you get Devontae Adams, and you still bad. You're still a bad team. So other than that, and then you lose Mike Vrabel to the Patriots. You lose him to the Patriots, the one guy that you actually you lose Mike Vrabel to the Patriots. So yeah, I mean another team that is gonna continue to really be a bad organization. A team that's gonna be really continue to be a bad organization. I mean, Sauce Gardner, now they calling those holding calls on him now. He had a down season this season. Quentin Williams didn't play well for the New York Jets this season. Everybody for the New York Jets, all these players, special teams on coaches, they were just lackluster for the New York Jets this year. So Robert Saleh, again, another player that I'm glad Cool brought that up. I didn't think it was his fault. Again, you got worse without him. You got even better without him. His defense was in the top of the league. When he was coaching that defense. Robert Saleh defense was a top tier defense. Before you fired the man, and then the whole team just gets worse. The injuries started happening, and the Jets just turned into a hot mess after he left.
Absolutely. Sid, what you got for us?
Man, he got a point. I caught the last bit of it. But they almost made the playoffs with their defense, the power of their defense last season. They had nothing at quarterback. Defense carried them the whole time. Yeah. Then you fire Robert Saleh and look what happens. Your defense goes down. And the rest of your team's crap. So I mean, it's not like Aaron Rodgers ain't raising up no tides over there. But he was loving it, right? When old boy came in and basically turned the Aaron Rodgers team, which is what you don't want. I don't think that was the right firing for the Jets. I know they felt like they had to do something, but yeah, Robert Saleh was keeping them together over there. I don't think that was a good move.
All right, Chicken Nugget, what you got for us?
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers is definitely done. his days of playing in the league is over. He's washed. Robert Saleh should have stayed in New York, with the Jets. He definitely had that team as a nucleus as a whole rally around him, and they played well under him. I just think that when you have Aaron Rodgers come into a franchise, he's gonna just destroy it. He's gonna make your whole franchise become a complete dysfunctional, show. It's a circus over there, and they need to, re-up on quarterback and get their chances at taking one. If Shador Sanders is available, go ahead and take him. If Cam Ward is there, take him. Whatever's there that works at QB, go get them. If they're at the top five. Um, but I do think that they need to change some things at head coach and go get a head coach, a very good head coach that could bring them together, and not only bring them together, but make sure that they have a front office GM that knows how to pick wisely and choose wisely in free agency as well. So for the most part, Aaron Rodgers is good as gone. You're going to change things after he leaves.
All right. I think Bobby might be on. Are you there, Bobby?
Hey,
I am. What's up? I'm mobile at the moment, so bear with me for the shit sound quality.
moving.
So we were talking about the next to last team that is going to be getting a new coach, the New York Jets. Any thoughts on the situation with the New York Jets, sir?
I think they should have never. I don't think Sala was the problem.
Right.
That was never the problem. He was a scapegoat. That's what
Mhm.
that was. Who do I think the next coach is going to be? I know.
I didn't really ask that. You can give us.
I know who it's not going to be. Mike Vrabel.
Not gonna be Mike Vrabel. Maybe.
It's definitely not going to be Mike Vrabel.
Oh no, it won't be Mike Vrabel because Vrabel signed with the Pats.
Yeah, we talked about that. You missed it.
So he's off. Do you think? I mean, if I was Ben Johnson, would you want to go to a situation like what's going on in New York? No,
Hell no.
not at all.
No.
Let's be
Not
real.
at all.
Of the teams that are available, Chicago is the most interesting.
For Ben Johnson, he's not gonna do
Yeah,
that.
So
Where he at?
the one thing with Chicago that would worry me is that there's no offensive line there. None. You're going from Detroit, who's probably got one of the best offensive lines in the league, outside of Philadelphia, who I think has the best offensive line. But, you're going from a team that has one of the best offensive lines to a team that has none. I don't know. And you're an offensive coach. I mean, that might be really, really hard.
Mhm.
So
Yeah,
who do I think?
would.
Who do I think they? I mean, if they wanted Ben Johnson to go there, they would have to probably grossly overpay that man. It's tough. I'd have to look at who's the coaches that are available. I mean, I don't think Adrian Peterson's going to get another coaching gig. I don't think he's going there. I would have to take a peek, but I know that job in New York is not appetizing. There's a lot of problems there and a lot of dysfunction. You'd probably have to bring in your own GM as well. So I don't know who's there. It's going to have to be somebody who really knows what they're doing. I would think it wouldn't be a first time coach because that would be tough.
Mhm.
I think you mean Antonio Pierce. You said Peterson, but we're going to move on. So New Orleans Saints are the last team that let go of their head coach. I've said this before. All I'm going to say again is what took you so freaking long? Bobby, we're just going to swing back around. We'll start with you on this one. New Orleans Saints, any thoughts on their head coach situation? Okay, Bobby might be caught in the Matrix. Chicken nuggets, any thoughts?
I will say that Aaron Glenn would definitely, make sense for the New Orleans Saints. That's short and sweet right there. Aaron Glenn, he's familiar with New Orleans. He's familiar with the players, the town, the city itself. AG is definitely a fit there. So, I mean, I do hope AG will come back, but you're not gonna, keep, your OC and DC all the time. It's a business. It is what it is. It's next man up. But if AG goes, AG's going to the Saints. That's the way I see it.
Sid.
I mean, I think the Saints might be the second best destination if Chicago is the first best destination of all coaching availabilities.
They just don't have a quarterback.
They
That's the big thing there.
do and they don't. You're right. They have a holdover at least. They got a holdover at least. So, oh man, keep fading out, looking all weird. But you're right. You know, we wish we would have saw that happen. I think having the dysfunction at quarterback is what kept them holding on to him for a little bit longer, because he did kind of have to go through, you know, a second and his third string quarterbacks, and then what's the guy they drafted? The off-brand Pat Mahomes. He just did not work out.
Spencer Rattler.
Spencer Rattler. There we go.
Spencer Rattler.
Mahomes.
Yeah.
He is not it. So I think that's what kind of kept them with the coach for a little longer. But I think that's a good destination. And also I think watching the Broncos kind of work their way, chisel their way into the playoffs, and Sean Payton make his way into the playoffs just kind of pissed off Saints ownership a little bit more and more each week, to where they were just like, nah, we got to get somebody in here. They're probably going to be looking for somebody that's going to be a little seasoned as well. I think instead of trying to strike, you know, lightning, they're going to be looking for somebody that can do a complete rebuild, because they need to completely rebuild that team from top to bottom. They need to get rid of everyone, not even just the quarterback. They need to get rid of every single player.
The Saints are in a similar situation to the Jets. They just the upper mid, like they need a 1 million, they need a whole culture rebuild. Like it's a whole rebuild there. A first year head coach is going to struggle down there.
Mm-hmm.
What you think,
Spencer Rattler is a college QB. He just wasn't cut out for the pros, in my opinion.
Everybody knew that, but the Saints.
100%. Spencer Rattler's game was never going to translate. It was
never was.
No, just
Coach Dante?
no.
What are your thoughts, man? We don't need to spend our time talking about Spencer Rattler. It's a waste of our breath.
Yeah, my bad.
I wish we could. One thing I want to stop. I want to stop talking about coaches that don't know how to manage timeouts, bro.
Oh man,
I'm really actually getting sick and tired of that crap, bro. Literally, bro. I mean, Dennis Allen again. If you like him as a defensive coach, you could keep him as a defensive coach, because that's what he's actually good at. But again, another move that needed to be made, that should have been made at the start of the season. They gave all that money to Derek Carr just to have a noodle arm and struggle. I think their defense is solid, but their offense, Alvin Kamara couldn't stay on the field, even though he had an okay season. But I like their receiving core, and Rashim Shaheed and Chris Olave. I like those guys. A quarterback will be good. A quarterback will be good over there, but I don't know if they're going to move on from Derek Carr. If you could just find the right coach, I think the Saints still could be a good team. I think the Saints could still be a solid team, especially the way they division is too. The only reason that's going to keep the Saints going is their division. I just think you just need the right coach. I like the Saints squad. I actually like them overall. I think they will have a chance because the division is not so good.
Once again, it's leadership, man. A rudderless ship.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. Disciplinary and complementary.
Well, that's the one thing that's a theme throughout all these teams that we just talked about, the new head coaches. There were issues with the locker room, issues with players, things like that. And if TJ were here, TJ would say he feels the same way about the Steelers, as we all know. We've heard him say that several times.
TJ's computer hates him, though.
Yeah, but he would say, like, you know, the same argument that we're having with some of these other things. He would point out the fact that Tomlin's been there a long time, but some of his better players have had problems in the past. He'd talk about Antonio Brown. He'd talk about Le'Veon Bell. Some of the issues, Pickens. The other gentleman,
Dude,
smoothed out of
if
the
you
way
don't
really
have
quickly.
good,
And
yeah,
all
no,
of
if you don't have good leadership, you're screwed. You could have the
Yeah.
best team on the planet, but if you have nobody to lead it, you're screwed.
So yeah, that would be that. So a couple of comments here in the chat, and then we're going to talk about the teams that we didn't already talk about. So all these teams that had new head coaches, we're not going to rehash those conversations, but we'll talk about the other teams that have not made the playoffs, and then we will quickly make our picks for today's game because we're already at 1:15. Y'all been long-winded today. We already at 1:15. Now we're 15 minutes. Bottom Line Sports says once they fired Salah, and of course talking about the Jets, what did you think was going to happen? Then they get Adams the following week. Just keep your HC and add Adams. Just a terrible move. The Jets will jet. As Key would say, JETS, just end the season. And finally it's over. The Bottom Line Sports also says Jets need a veteran head coach to have credibility with Aaron Rodgers. But Aaron Rodgers' contract is over, so they probably don't even want him back. He did nothing for him while he was there. Bottom Line Sports also says, why not just bring back Rex Ryan? He's been strongly suggested he wants the job. If Rex Ryan wants the job, I mean, sometimes you give somebody what they want, and then you remind them that they want it. That's all I really have to say.
Well, the other thing too is that he's a vet. You know, like he would. You need someone like that. Someone that is cut like a Ben Johnson. There, in my opinion, wouldn't do good. Wouldn't that would be too much for a rookie head coach, that type of a situation.
And then Bottom Line Sports, our man Flo says Saints need to march for Arch. They can, if they keep Spencer Rattler as starting quarterback for next year, that's going to help them be in a very good position to get the number one pick the following season. Flo also says Rattler's a rookie. Too soon to say he's not good. He came into a tough situation. Look at Bryce Young. He looked like a bust after a year and a half until late this season. My only argument for that, or I guess comment, not really argument, because is you saw some flashes from Bryce Young. You just didn't see him consistently put it together. Like he wasn't terrible the whole game. You saw flashes. It just didn't come together. I don't see flashes from Spencer Rattler.
No,
I just see a guy that goes out there.
Well, he didn't have a chance either. He didn't have his wide receivers either, though.
But I agree with Cool though. I agree with Cool though. Like you watch some of these games where Bryce Young really did play. Really did play well. So there is, at least some potential there. Rattler just looks like the ability to read a defense and react to what's going on in the field. Just to me, just isn't there.
All right, so the teams that we have not discussed NFL draft-wise. Tennessee Titans. Titans were terrible. They're deserving of the number one pick. They made a horrible choice at quarterback, and if you don't have a quarterback, you're going to suck in the NFL. That's pretty much the thing for Titans. Anybody want to add anything about the Titans quickly?
All I'm going to say, that goes for any team, though. If you don't have a quarterback or a head coach, you're just not going to be good. That's just, to me, it's a standard. If you don't have the coach or the quarterback, or at least have the quarterback that can give you some damn stability, you just really not gonna be actually good. So other than that, not only that, it just Callahan, the coach. A lot of Titans fans wanted them fired. But it's just a lack of competitiveness this team really didn't have. I mean, you see the way they were losing games. I mean, they were getting absolutely destroyed in a lot of these games that they lost. Teams were actually having field days on these guys. This defense was bad in the middle stretch of the season. But again, another team that don't have a quarterback. Mason Rudolph, a backup. Will Levis, a backup. As of right now, he's no starter. He's a backup. And he continues to make the same dumb decision-making that he always had in college, even when he was in college. I mean, he's a quarterback that has this big, strong arm and just continues to can't see the field well and just continues to make mistakes. Yeah, you can have a strong arm, but I mean, hey, if you can't throw it to your receivers accurately, if you can't throw it within a participation, hey, you can have that strong arm all you want to. And I think that's one thing that Will Levis does got. He has a great athleticism ability. But again, you cannot make throws in tight windows. You just cannot make the throws you need to make. And the quarterback situation and the offensive line and the left side of the offensive line was a problem for the Titans as well. So, yeah, I think, but the quarterback is the main situation for the Tennessee Titans.
All right. Any other thoughts on the Titans, y'all? Are we good?
No, I agree with Coach. That offensive line was awful.
Yeah. All right. So we're going to the Browns, another terrible team. I thought that Deshaun Watson would be better. If they want to get Deshaun Watson ever to play like he should, which I think he re-injured himself, he's going to be out all next season anyway. So they might just move and do a quarterback, just to try to bring some solidity.
Where are they picking in the draft? Cool. Where are they?
They're picking second. The problem is, I'm scared that they're going to pick my Miami quarterback Cam Ward. And if they do, RIP Cam Ward's career, because if you go to the Browns and you're a quarterback, you're automatically just garbage. We now see you're just going to be disgusting while you're there. If you're able to get away from there, you have a chance to be good. But while you're there, you're going to be horrible. So that's the legacy of the Browns.
I hate to say it, but they're picking a quarterback. There's no fucking way they don't. Cleveland is definitely taking a quarterback. Now, whether they take Shador or whether they take Cam Ward is a question.
Well, the thing is, they don't have the option of the two. The Titans need a quarterback.
Truth.
Let's be honest. The Titans need a quarterback, so they're probably going to take a quarterback.
So the Titans will take Cam Ward then, because Cam Ward to me is the better of the two.
That's to you. That's not to the Titans. We don't know what the Titans how they value.
Yeah.
Anybody else have any thoughts on the Browns? I mean, these teams are pretty bad, so I get if we don't really want to.
Cam Ward, come on down.
Here's the thing, right? Even with the quarterback, though, they're still not going to be. Both of those teams need 8 or 9 or 10 different things to go right for them. They're going to be bad next year too, even with the quarterback.
Secret, sir. If you win 3 games, 4 games, 5 games in a season, you're not a good team.
Yeah.
And just getting a quarterback is not going to fix the problem, but you better get the quarterback because the quarterback can help mitigate some of those problems.
100%. I agree. Yep.
All right, New York Giants, 3-14. It's about where I saw the Giants at. So, about where I saw them at. They should be upset with themselves for winning a game and costing themselves the number 1 pick. But they did understand the assignment week 18 and got themselves back into the top 3. You may have screwed yourself out of either one of the top 2 quarterbacks that you've been looking at, though. So we'll see how that plays out. What do you say, Sid?
They didn't want Shador.
They didn't have to draft Shador. If they had number 1 pick, they could have drafted whoever they wanted to. I'm not giving the number 1 pick because I don't want Shador. Because you might get the 3 and he might be the only quarterback still sitting there. You don't know.
Ain't that similar though? Like I say, ain't that similar to what we did? Cool. Remember when Lovie Smith won that last week game against the Colts? With the number 2 overall pick, that turned into CJ Stroud. The Giants. I'm gonna say this: the Giants will only fuck up that if they pick the wrong quarterback. If they pick the wrong quarterback, they will only mess that. That will only make the number 2 pick. That will only make the win a little more worse if they miss out on the quarterback. It just really depends on how the quarterback pans out, how the quarterback pans out for them. That's the only way you can say, hey, that's the only way we can say that they should not have won that game. They should not have won that game if the pick doesn't get right. So if you're gonna not win the last week game, you better get the right quarterback. You better just make sure you pick the right quarterback.
Yeah,
that's fair. That is fair. Any other thoughts on the Giants?
Yeah, I would say choose wisely when you're drafting. Choose wisely, because if you make that wrong pick, you're going to make a mistake and you're going to regret it.
I think the Giants have so many holes to fill that
they really do. They really have so many holes to fill. But
you could go with Travis Hunter in 3 and make your team
go with Travis Hunter. Yeah, I wouldn't be.
They got their running backs though. They got their running.
They got a running back, but a lot more than that.
I think they still need a running back though. They still need.
Oh man,
I think it's lower on the list based on other needs, but it wouldn't hurt to at least get a number 2. if you feel he's your number one. All right, we already talked about the Patriots. We already talked about the Jags. We already talked about the Raiders. We already talked about the Jets. But Bobby, any thoughts on the Patriots? I know you may have a few things to say, but please try to keep it brief for us. Thank you, sir.
Nothing I haven't already said, man. They're in a rebuild. They have, Drake May, and I hope they keep Milton as a backup because clearly he has some kind of potential there. So I think the QB situation is solved. I think this year needs to be offensive weapons and offensive line. That should be their focus. I'm well aware that this is not going to happen overnight. I think my prediction, they're not going to get back to 500 for another 5 seasons, the way I look at it. So I'm playing the long game with them.
Fair enough. Panthers. The Panthers are probably, of the teams that we're going to talk about, besides possibly the Bears, depending on who they get as coach, are going to be the most improved next year, because I think we saw a better version of their quarterback, as we talked about a little while ago, near the end of the season. I think that if he gets a little bit more time, he gets some comfort, he gets some more familiarity with his receivers. He's had some other issues going on, so I think he's kind of worked through those and he's kind of ready to focus on football 100%. I think this is a team who will be a lot better than 5 wins, but for this past season, it was kind of rough, but you started to see that bright light in the tunnel at the end of the season. They were competing in some games, could have beat teams like the Chiefs, but just didn't quite get it done, but they're able to compete. And being able to compete, which actually is something the Giants did do as well. Something is being said for that, but the difference between it is the Giants were competing with who knows who. And the Panthers had guys in place. It's just a lot of them are very young. So they need the time to develop and understand the NFL game and be prepared to play. And I think we'll see more from them next year. Anybody else have thoughts on the Panthers?
I think you pretty much hit it on the head.
All right, fair enough. All right, we talked about the Saints. We talked about the Bears. That's pretty much, a couple more teams we could talk about if y'all want to, but we don't really have to talk about them.
The Bears are going to interview Notre Dame head coach Marcus Freeman. Dang, didn't he just get to Notre Dame?
If I was Marcus Freeman, I would not leave the Notre Dame to go to the Bears.
What?
I wouldn't, dude. I wouldn't go. I wouldn't leave Notre Dame for that. Not a chance. Nope.
Didn't he just get to Notre Dame?
Right,
this is his first year. This is his first year with Notre Dame. Yeah.
This is third. Like it's third.
No,
it's
excuse
like
me. No,
third.
you're right.
It's
No, excuse me. You're right. You're right. I believe this is the
third.
Go. Yeah, this is the third season. Excuse me, third season. Yeah.
Stay
yeah,
at Notre
yeah.
Dame. Stay at Notre Dame. Trust me, stay at Notre Dame.
It's almost game time.
Stay at Notre Dame, dude.
All right, so we're gonna do this real quick. This is the rest of the teams that are left. San Francisco, disappointing. They'll be better next year. Dallas, it was coming. Jerry Jones was all in. This is what happens when Jerry Jones is all in. Good job, Jerry.
So
Miami.
Isn't he all in every year though? And this is what happens.
Yeah, I'm just saying. Miami, Tua's got to stop getting concussions, and they'll be better. The Colts, they are who I thought they were. They're actually a little bit better than I thought they were, but
Anthony Richardson, good at tapping out. He good at doing that. He know how to tap. He know how to do.
Yeah, he quits. He just quits on his team.
Falcons with Michael Penix Jr. there. We'll see what they are next year. We won't have a lot of tape on him.
Next year. I believe he just started quarterback next year.
Yep. The Arizona Cardinals,
they'll be. The Falcons will be one to watch. I think Penix will be really interesting to see how he does with a full season and a full off season.
Yep.
True.
Cardinals are just bad. They've been bad. They'll continue to be bad. They're bad.
They need to get Kyler Murray. They need to get Kyler Murray off that squad and get a new quarterback in there.
Cincinnati, you got to stop starting 1-8 and 2-7 and stuff, and thinking you're going to make the playoffs and then crying because you don't get.
Their defense got to be better. Their defense is trash. Their defense got to be better. They second.
But when you pay the offense so much, Only so much left for the
Can't pay
defense.
the defense. Their offense has so many heavy hitters on it. They got to pay too, right?
They still got to
Well,
pay T. Higgins
that's the
and
problem.
Chase.
That's the problem, though. Like that's what coach is saying, though. That's the problem, though. When you go so like they're so top heavy that there's no room for expenses for the defense.
And then Seattle, just not quite did enough. Not really a bad team, but just mid. Like literally where they're at, mid. They're just a mid team.
Mhm.
That's it. Any thoughts on any of those teams, guys? Or are we good to go ahead and
Seattle just stuck in the middle. They will always be a solid team, a competitive team, but they just stuck.
How
in
do
the
they?
middle.
How do they get over that hump then? I think that
there's nothing they can do because they're in the NFC, and there's a lot of teams that are just better than them. And
truth.
unless they can get a huge influx of talent that's quality, they're not going to move from where they're at. They're just going to continue to be mid. That's the truth. All right, so we got 1 p.m. in about 12 minutes, so we got to get this thing moving. 1 p.m. we got the Denver Broncos versus the Buffalo Bills. I'm going to go with the Bills, but I give the Broncos a chance because upsets can happen. But I'm going to go Bills as my pick. We'll go around the horn here so we can get everybody in. Coach Dante, who you got?
Bills in a close game.
Sid, who you got?
Broncos all day.
Chicken Nugget?
Bills are going to have their way in this game. I'm going to have to go with the Buffalo Bills. They're going to play great with the long range game, with the deep ball. And Josh Allen, he's got to be MVP if he balls out seriously in this game. So Bills over Broncos. Sorry, Mile High.
Oh man,
Bobby, who you got?
Like that, he don't like that blowout.
There will be an upset, but it's not going to be this game. I'm going the Bills.
it's gonna be an upset weekend.
All right, and then at 4:30 p.m., NFC wild card, the Green Bay Packers are traveling to Lincoln Financial Field to play the Philadelphia Eagles, and they are going to lose. Bobby, who you got?
Is Jordan Love hurt? I heard something that he might not be 100%. That true?
He's not 100%.
Yeah. So they're cooked. Yep. I will take the Eagles in that one easily.
Chicken Nugget?
Yeah, I will have to go with the Eagles in this one. Cool, you my guy. Got to go with the Eagles over Packers.
Sid, who you got?
Oh man, Eagles and Packers.
Yep.
Is Jordan Love playing? Did we just cover that?
He'll play.
He
play.
is, but he's hurt. He's not playing 100%.
Oh,
He's got to play. They have no chance without him.
yeah, that's true. Do they? I'm gonna go. Let's see who the Eagles got out too. I'll go Eagles.
Okay, Coach.
I'm gonna go Eagles. I think this game gonna be closer than what it is, but I think the Eagles gonna pull it out. I don't give a damn if Jordan Love hurt. If you can go out there and play when healthy, I'm expecting you to go out. If you can go out there and play hurt, I expect you to go out there and get the same effort. I hold that standard to any quarterback. I don't want to hear no.
I see you.
No.
Yeah, you can't play. Sit down. I feel you.
You can play. You play. I ain't trying to get an excuse.
I see you. All right, then tonight at 8 p.m., pretty good game, I think. We got the Commanders versus the Buccaneers. This game is going to be in Tampa Bay. I'm going to be honest with you. I'm going Commanders. I think the Commanders going to pull this out.
Mm.
Coach, who you got?
I'm going Bucks at home.
Okay.
Bucks at home. But it wouldn't surprise me. If the Commanders pull it out, will not surprise me. But I'm going to take the Bucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got the Bucks continuing to crush hearts of upstarts, right? You know, then they crushed Detroit last season, and then look what happened. So this will be that wake-up call or that welcome to the playoffs for the Commanders, and then they'll come back and they'll take the division next year. So I'm gonna go Buccaneers.
All right, fair enough. Chicken Nugget.
I'm gonna have to go with the beast, the absolute offensive rookie of the year, without a doubt, Jaden Daniels. Commanders over the Buccaneers.
And Bobby.
I'm gonna stick with Chicken Nuggets pick, and I'm going with the Commanders as well. I think Jaden Daniels and company get this done down in Tampa.
All right, and then I think the most unpredictable game of the weekend is Monday, 8 p.m. We got the Vikings and the Rams. We saw what Sam Darnold did last week. The Rams, I'm going to assume we're going to get the good Rams team. So it's the only way I can make a pick. And I'm going to pick the Rams. Because if we get the good Rams team, it's going to be hard to beat them, especially after Sam Darnold dropped that egg last week. Now, he could move back and say, all right, I got it together now, we're good. But I don't know. I'm going to have to go with the Rams. If the caveat, we get the good Rams team. And we don't know yet, but I'm assuming we're going to get them. If we get the bad Ram team, the Vikings are going to drag them. Body.
Oh, Rams all day.
Chicken nugget.
Yeah, it's
Sam Darnold is
good. Rams. Definitely got to go with the Rams because the Vikings last week, they couldn't even score a single touchdown on us, after 4 straight red zone drives. So, you got to go with the Rams at this point. Matthew Stafford still has something to prove. Puka Nacua is going to play at a high level. He's all gas out there on the field. But the Vikings, dude, they're just definitely, going to have to be one and done at this point. So, Rams.
All right. Sid.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Sam, man. I gotta go with the Vikings.
Okay.
I don't see the Rams pulling this one off.
Coach Dante.
It's a tough one for me.
It's a tough one, I think.
It is. It really is. It depends on what Rams team you're gonna really get, man. But then, do I trust Sam Darnold? I don't.
Well, not in the playoffs, you're right.
I'm gonna take the Rams. I'm gonna take the Rams by nose.
But see, that's the biggest factor is like Sam Darnold. Sam Darnold in the spotlight has never, ever performed well. Ever.
I trust Matthew Stafford more than I trust Sam Darnold in any big time situation. And plus, they also got a very good underrated running back, man. Kyron Williams, that dude can go, man. That
underrated. Wasn't he like the leading, like the touchdown leader?
Yep. He was the touchdown leader for a lot of the season.
Kyron Williams can go, bro. Kyron Williams can go. That dude can run.
Yeah, they do got.
I mean, you can't leave Kyron Williams out because he's definitely explosive out the backfield.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, Aaron Jones can. Right. Aaron Jones, he can run too.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah. I just feel like Minnesota, they just in go mode right now, man, and for somehow, some way. Justin Jefferson, man, he wins games on offense. I don't know how they do it,
but he's got the doofiest fucker on the planet throwing him the football.
Hey, he was a first round pick. He was a top 5 pick.
I don't want to talk about.
Sam Darnold looks like he belongs in an episode of Curb Your Enthusiasm.
Okay, Justin Jefferson screwed me in fantasy, so I don't want to talk about Justin Jefferson. Right? If Justin Jefferson was what he was supposed to be, I would have won championships, but instead I'm losing games by 5 points, 7 points, 2 points, and Justin Jefferson put up 3 points. So, Coach Dante, who do you have winning, sir? I don't know if
I said the Rams.
Oh, you said the Rams. Okay, I got so upset thinking about that piece of trash costing me championship. We're gonna hit the comments real quick, guys. Try to get everybody out of here at once. So I know a lot of people are watching. I greatly appreciate all y'all tuning in. All right, so Bottom Line Sports. Well, Shady Sports says thanks everyone for tuning in. Bottom Line Sports says at Shady Sports Network, you're welcome. I expect to see you in the comments at 6 p.m. Central for TBL Sports Sunday Surge. All I'm gonna tell you is my game's gonna be on at 6, so I ain't watching nobody's show. It's at 6 o'clock today. I get it though. I'll catch a replay, but live you won't see me. I will be cheering on or cursing at the Eagles, one or the other. Depends on how the game goes. Sam just says, do we think the NFL has a quarterback development problem? It seems that teams are constantly expecting players to jump in and be great from day one. But we ain't got time to talk about it today, but we can talk about it next week. Shady Sports says, at the Bottom Line Sports, I got you. So there you go. Bottom Line Sports says, if the Browns pick Cam Ward, they can sit him for a year, a la Mahomes, and ease him into the following season, and they'll still screw him up because they're the Browns. But that may be helpful for the next team he runs off to once his
They
rookie
gonna put
contract.
him in the fire. They what other quarterback they got? They
Yeah,
gonna
because
throw
he
him.
would. Because if I'm Cam Moore and they pick me, I'm sitting there for my 5 years, and as soon as my 5th year is over, I refuse to sign a new contract, and I'm running out the door.
That's the NFL,
Like it's
the
a
quarterback
fire.
development league right there. The Browns, right? The Browns and the Panthers. That's
The
where you
Browns
go to
ain't
learn.
developing nobody. Scrub says the Giants have no direction and no plan. Scrub does not play. He keeps it straight to the hilt on his squad, and you can catch him with me on NFC Beast on Saturday nights for the remainder of the season. You can go back and watch all the episodes.
All right, it's
Keep
game
plug.
time.
The Bottom Line Sports says if the Giants pick anyone for Shador or Cam as their first pick, it's a mistake. But I'm good with the Giants making bad picks. Laugh out loud. Flo is a Cowboys fan, by the way, so yeah, he would not be upset if the Giants made bad picks. Sam says Giants definitely need a QB. Scrub says Giants need several miracles. That's bad when your fans feel like that about the squad. That's pretty tough. Sam says they might need an exorcism. Them and the Browns. And let's order the exorcism for the Browns because I don't need my guy to go down because the Browns don't know how to use quarterbacks. Bottom line says when it's all said and done, Milton might be better than Nate. We'll see. Only time will tell that. Sam says Patriots sub 500 for 5 seasons. Dang, Bobby. That's cold, son.
Dude, the Patriots are going to be sub 500 for the next, at minimum, 3 years.
Hey, tell that Giants fan I got a quarterback that he can have. If you know who I'm talking about, Cool know who I'm really talking about.
He don't want him.
he can be. I got a quarterback.
Tell him, Coach Dante. Tell him who you talking about.
You can have Davis Mills. You can have him.
Davis, you know that, man. You know that's your career backup over there, bro. You know Davis Mills come through when CJ Stroud go down. Davis Mills will come through for a series or two. And
Hey, David Mills can actually be clutch. He can definitely be clutch for you.
Davis Mills.
Let's not hold it up.
Hey, Davis Mills go hang around as long as he can in that career replacement, man. He'll come through for 1 or 2 series when you need him and go sit down, won't say nothing. Hey,
right,
you know, I would take Davis Mills as a backup, bro. He come through. He don't have a backup. Oh, as a starter, he can't. You know, he never developed right. You know what I mean? Like he was like that missing link, right?
At least he got his experience as a starter, though.
Huh? Yeah. All right. Sam says third college coach to be requested, not counting David Shaw, who is currently with the Broncos.
Oh, you're talking about Notre Dame coach?
Talking about Marcus Freeman.
Yeah.
Marcus Freeman don't do it. Consider. The Flo says Cowboys are going to run it back with Mike McCarthy. Why? Because we don't want Jerry to do that. Hey, you got some honest things. You got to respect when people get on and talk honestly about their team, good or bad. You got to respect that.
Yep.
Sam said it's just kind of crazy to see teams interviewing coaches from Notre Dame, Iowa, and Maryland. Just not the schools I would have expected. But after you see the way the season is going, it makes more sense because some of these
CFP changed everything. Playoffs changed the whole outlook on college football. Yeah. Let me tell you, man. Like that's why it's crazy. Coaches even interviewing for the NFL. They're like, we make the same money.
Maybe better. Flo says Micah said we're going to the Super Bowl next season. Laugh out loud. I like the confidence though. If we can stay relatively healthy on defense, we can make some noise.
Who? Commanders?
Broncos. He's a Broncos fan. Sam says,
Broncos are going to the Super Bowl next season.
Not Broncos, Cowboys. I was looking at the next comment. He's a Cowboys fan. Sam says, let's go Broncos.
Oh, that was me. Oh, wait. Which one was that? Game time?
The Bottom Line Sports says, if the Broncos win, I won't be able to stand hot take Jake. I think I'll be sick. Yeah, he's got a Broncos guy that
let's go.
Will be very hard.
Ain't nobody gonna be able to stand Broncos fans if the Broncos win.
That's true. Flo also says Eagles win, but I don't mind Eagles being heartbroken. Laugh out loud.
Dang.
I respect it. I feel the same about you every year. Flo says my wife agrees with me. Bucks win. I went against her with the Texans and I regret it.
Hey, keep going against the Texans. Hey. Thank you so much.
If she didn't pick the Texans, she was wrong. If she picked the Texans, she was right.
Who's picking the Chargers?
I know somebody else who picked the Texans last night on NFC Beats before the game. I know somebody else.
Who that person cool? Hey,
well, I know you did, but you weren't on. I know you would pick them.
no, I'll be locked in. I'll be locked in at that point.
Yeah. Sam says Rams are not winning this game. Sam, if they come out playing the way they should play all the time, they got a chance. Will they? That's what we don't know.
We don't know that
because that team is two-faced. They know they can change the two-face. So that team is two-faced.
You know, Puka go get his though. That's the thing. At the end
Not
of the
all
day.
the time, because I had Puka as well, and Puka had games where he was getting 1 point, 3 points, and I was losing because him and Justin Jefferson, who I both had, sucked.
See, fantasy changed how you look at these players. People are like, oh, this
if
person,
you go out there,
you like,
get points in
what?
fantasy, then you suck.
Come on, you garbage, bro. You playing?
Yeah, I don't do fantasy at all. I'm not into all that.
I do fantasy. And when you
do fantasy, come join my league. You'll love it.
You go out there and do nothing, then I got problems. Flo says, I'm saying Darnold finally went full pumpkin mode. I'm going against my wife on this one, so I might regret it. She always misses one pick. Laugh out loud.
Nah, man.
All right. Shady Sports says game time. Let's go Broncos.
That was me.
Flo says, cool. Are you sure 6 p.m. Central? Oh, you did say Central. There'll still be 7 o'clock. Yeah, they'll still be playing because the game starts at 4.
What time?
So yeah, I'll still be watching the game. So I'll come back and watch. I'll watch our replay, but we'll still be playing. But I'll watch our replay because we started at 4:30, and I am going to the Eagles bar, so I may have to sit there for a little bit after the game before I'm able to leave. If you
I gotta dip out on y'all because I gotta go.
Yeah, and then if Sam says if the Broncos win, the Cedric deserves to do a victory lap.
Let's go.
So that's it.
About to win, and we getting the ball first. Let's go.
That's the.
I want to see a said Broncos victory lap. I would give him the first 5 minutes of the show next week.
If he wins, we'll see what happens.
If we got the ball.
I'd give him an open floor the first 5 minutes of the show.
Let y'all go. I'm about to watch this.
I'll let y'all
have a good one.
Over. Appreciate everybody that
tuned in. Have a good one, Cedric.
Yes. As well as Sports Wave. We rocking. Regular season's over. Now we in the playoffs. We'll see y'all next week. Let's go.
Are you ready?